gentlemen, we meet again towards Parshas Bechukotai, and we are still at war. We are at war in Israel against a very cruel enemy. This is an enemy of terrorists. And on the 7th of October, when the war broke out, they did things which are the most terrible you can imagine and beyond what you can imagine. And we don't know even half of it. But they wanted the whole world to know. So they had body cameras on them, on Facebook, to show live on Facebook that the whole world should see how cruel they are. Why is that? Because they're terrorists. Terrorists means they want people to live in terror. They want to terrorize the world. They want us to be frightened of their cruelty. That's what they want. They want us to be neurotic. What's going to happen? They want us to live in anxiety. What can they do to us? What can happen? That's what they want. If this is first and foremost a psychological war, they're trying to make us go mad with anxiety because they're so cruel. And we are fighting this war. We're doing our very best on very many levels. And this week's Parsha starts off with saying, if you keep the Torah, then it says, "Vishavtem lavetach ba'artzachem." You will sit securely in your land. To what extent? "V'natati shalom ba'aretz." You'll have peace in your land. And then it says something very interesting. You know, in Hebrew, terrorists we call mechablim. Mechablim means people who cause us damage. But it isn't the correct translation. The correct translation should be somebody who puts us in, who's trying to put us in a mindset of anxiety, of terror. It should be like anxiety in English, in Hebrew, is charada. So therefore, a person who puts somebody else in a situation of anxiety is macharid. He puts somebody else into terrible fright, and is all the time neurotic. What's going to happen? These crazy, cruel people are going to get to me. We can't live like that. And therefore, the continuation of the pasuk is, "V'natati shalom ba'aretz u'shchavtem ve'ein macharid." We will not have even terrorism. We won't have anything. We will only have spiritual success and physical success. And actually, these psukim, these 10 psukim, are describing a most beautiful situation that will be in our land, with great prosperity and with great happiness. And HaKadosh Baruch will be with us, and we will have a beautiful spiritual world. And this is the dream, and then the whole world will see what a beautiful dream we're living, and they all want to join us. And that's what we say in our davening, the second part of our English Shabbat. We say that eventually everybody will recognize this. We're coming up to Yom Yerushalayim soon, and Yom Yerushalayim is the center of the world spiritually, and eventually Kimitzion Tetzeh Torah. Everybody will understand that this is we're giving the light to the world. We're fighting against people who are giving darkness to the world, and we're trying to bring light to the world. But it's all on condition of the first pasuk, and the first pasuk says, "Im chukotai telechu, ve'im et chukotai." Excuse me a second. Im chukotai telechu, ve'mitzvotai tishmoru, va'asitem otam. If we do this, then all these beautiful blessings will come to. So what is this? What is this that we have to do? So it's broken down into 3 verbs, actually. Im bechukotai telechu, ve'mitzvotai tishmoru, va'asitem otam. So there are 3 things we have to do. And it seems the first thing is halicha, is something to do with going, walking, going. Et mitzvotai tishmoru is something to do with guarding. V'asitem otam is got to do with something with doing. What is going on here? So actually, the Ibn Ezra explains that stage one is an imbechukotai telechu. To learn Torah, we have to know the rules of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have to understand what he wants from us. We have to learn. That's stage one. Stage two, Ves mitzvotai tishmoru. It means we have to pass it on. We have to teach it on to the next generation. The third one, V'asitem otam, is not only doing this in theory, accepting the information, passing on the information, but actually being a personal example, being a role model, and doing what needs to be done. That's the Ibn Ezra. The Kli Yakar goes in a different direction, slightly. He starts off that the first one is really learning the Torah, but then he talks about both the others doing on a doing mode. Why? Shmira is guarding, which means negative mitzvot. Mitzvot lo ta'aseh, we have to keep all the negative mitzvot. And then v'asitem otam is the positive mitzvot. Comes the Sfat Emet, and gives us a third interpretation of this, and tells us that we actually live on three levels. We have our thoughts, we have our feelings, and we have our doing. And therefore, all these three dimensions of our life have to be involved in the right way. So first of all, our brain, our moach, has to be involved in learning Torah. And then our leiv, our heart, has to be in the right place. We have to guard them well in your heart. And then is the world of doing it with the rest of your body. So there is the brain, there is the heart, and then the whole body gets involved. And it is a package deal. It is a package deal. Being Jewish is not an intellectual acrobatics. And being Jewish is not just doing a few deeds that you don't really understand, but to learn them, have to try and feel them, have to try and do them. And if we manage our personal life to have peace between our brain and our heart and our actions, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring peace into the land. Will be peace between us and the whole world. Still, the question still stays, which is if the pasuk says actually, "V'yishavtem lavetach ba'atzechem," means you will be secure in your land from enemies, from terrorists, from ballistic missiles, from all kinds of terrible things that are being aimed at us at the moment. So what does it mean? The next pasuk, "V'natati shalom ba'aretz," I'll give peace in the land. Of course, if you have V'yishavtem lavetach ba'atzechem, if you're secure in your land, you've got no enemies. So of course you have peace. So what is this? So Ibn Ezra says one word: beinechem, between us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our big challenge. If we have peace between us, the Jewish people, I'm afraid, are fragmented. And we have to get together. If we find a way to consolidate all the Jewish people, if we can have peace between us, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help us have peace against our enemies, and eventually will be such a light to the nations that the enemies not only will put down their guns, but they will say, "Come, we want to join you in Yerushalayim," and Yerushalayim will be the spiritual center of the world for all nations.